Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Welcome back to another video, like video number two, where I'm making reading my habit, and I will read with you guys, and let's see what is with us in the next. Like last time, I read like 2 pages, I think, 1 page. Okay, so we'll begin from there where we left off, and I'm gonna explain whatever I understand from this book. Okay. Uh, all right. So again, let's remind ourselves the most productive man you would ever hope to meet. Hyper focus, how to work less and achieve more. So that's what book is about, where attention is everywhere, and how we work less to achieve more. Okay. So page number one we read. So let's begin with the page number two. Okay. So at the bar are a few strangers making idle conversation while watching last night's football highlights. I find it especially fascinating that millions of people around the world, including these three guys, are fixated on an 11-inch piece of tanned cowhide. As I watch, one of the guys cocks his head, lost in thought. Then, as though a shock wave was traveling through his body, he rushes to capture an idea in his pocketed notepad. While he was in a daydream and to the tune of football highlights, an insight struck from out of the blue. He had eureka moment. Or take me, sitting here with my laptop. This morning, as I sip coffee and nibble home fries, I have been able to focus more deeply on my work and have more energy to burn. My morning mediation may have helped. I find I'm able to write more words when I take part in this ritual, 40% more by my calculations. I left my phone at home so I could write distraction free and so my mind could rest on the walk to the dinner and wonder. As I will discuss later, disconnecting is one of the most powerful ways to spark new and innovative ideas. Let me repeat. So it says, um, whenever I meditate in the morning, my work like improves the efficiency, and also there's this another amazing thing he has written that disconnecting is one of the most powerful ways to spark new and innovative ideas. So you have to disconnect from your gadgets, from your current world, so you can reconnect with the real things, with the real objectives, with the real thing you want to achieve, um, the goals you have in your mind. So this is how. Okay. So let's move on. Um, as I'll discuss later, disconnecting, okay, the music playing on the restaurant speakers is catchy, but not enough to be distracting. One thing I understand from reading is that whoever the author is, he always focuses on the tiny details. For example, if I explain what the current scenario, like where I'm sitting and reading, so if I have to share the story of this, I'm gonna say, all right, one good evening, I was reading. There was noise outside, kids playing football or something. There was light on the table, limelight. There was this blue light coming from the back, um, like this, explaining every details. So you have to, when you tell the story, you have to be very specific to the points. Okay. So amazing. All right. So yeah, okay. I'm not here for the soundtrack now, and also chose this dinner over my favorite cafe because there's no Wi-Fi. Constant connectivity is one of the worst disruption to our focus and productivity. So yes, uh, we are connected constantly or our phones or laptops. If we don't have battery in our phone, we go connect on laptop. If we don't have battery on our laptop, we go connect on mobile. So there's this constant connectivity, and he's telling that is one of the worst disruption to our focus and productivity. So if you're constantly connected with these gadgets, your focus and productivity decreases or disrupts. As the last few paragraphs demonstrate, I'm a bit of distracted by the environment and the people it's hosting, but they are serving as good fodder for this introduction. This restaurant scene is a handy illustration of a revelation I had a while back. Attention is all around us. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Wow. Everyone awake on this planet in this one moment, whether they are eating breakfast, working, or spending time with their family, is focused on something. Attention is the backup against which we live our lives wherever we go and whatever we do, even if we are just noticing the thoughts in our head. All right, so it has now here it is a pause. Let's move to the next paragraph. It says it has been a few years since I first began to explore how we can not only focus better but also think more clearly. While this is tough to admit, especially as someone who was making his living as a productivity expert, I started to notice my own increased distraction, especially as I accumulated more devices. I had never been so busy while accomplishing so little. So he's just focusing on the devices we have, and he says, when we focus on these devices, we achieve very little in terms of performance, in terms of objectives or goal settings, maybe. So we have to get rid of these gadgets. So whenever you work, you have to turn off your screens, turn off your laptop, mobile, maybe other things, so that you could focus on your work. But in my case, I work digitally. I have to focus on the laptop. But again, there are so many tabs open in my laptop, so I'm gonna close all these and gonna focus. So one thing at a time. All right, so let's move forward. I knew that my brain never functioned well when I was trying to multitask, but I felt compelled to do it anyway. Working with my email client open and my smartphone on desk was simply more appealing than trying to concentrate on one or two simple things for me. This book was born out of necessity. I wrote it because I needed it. Wow. When I get excited by a new idea, I typically order dozens of books on it and nerd out about this topic, that topic. Focus has been my most recent fascination. This includes how we can best manage the distractions around us, multitask more effectively if that's possible. It is. Yes, it is. Battle our resistance to focusing on tasks that make us procrastinate and also better on focus so that we can, okay, so that we can genuinely relax and recharge. In my reading, I found an awful lot of information advice, often contradictory, that was fun to read but ultimately did not help me progress my work and life forward. So again, distractions, right? We have distractions everywhere. Okay. I then turned to the actual scientific research, scores of academic studies, and decades of documentation dedicated to learning how we best focus. As I carefully read every study I could find, the focus folder on my computer became massive. I amazed tens of thousands of words or notes and began to identify the most practical, tactical lessons from them. I started speaking to the world's foremost attention researchers to get to the bottom of why we get distracted so easily and discover how we can get our stubborn minds to focus in a world of distraction. And I started to experiment with the research myself to see if it was actually possible to get a grip on my focus. So what I discovered what is completely changed not only how I wrote book, how I work, but also how I live my life. I began to see focus as not only a contributor to my productivity, but also a factor in my overall well-being. Surprisingly, I learned that one of the best practices for fostering my creativity and productivity was learning how to unfocus by paying attention to nothing in particular and letting my mind wander. As I did on my way to Kingston dinner, I found that I became better at making connections between ideas and coming with new ones. So that's one page for today, and we'll begin where we'll leave tomorrow. Thank you for watching. If you are watching, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you have questions related to digital marketing and reading, you can always ask. I will respond to your comments and your messages. That's me, Imran Nadir, signing off. See you in the next one. Follow me for more.